Well, you know, our alliances, of which we have 5 historic alliances here, 5 of the 7 treaties that our country has are right here in the Asia Pacific. And of course, we have a number of very, very important strategic partnerships. We have a growing number of just partners in general. So as we look to the future of security in this region, it's important that we look for opportunities to work together, to share our common security interest, and to figure out how we're going to maintain peace and prosperity in over half the globe for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Well, I would like to just say that, you know, that generally the Asia Pacific has been at peace for a long time. Now, it doesn't mean it's not without challenges, and there are a number of security challenges. But I think that the number one challenge is to ensure that peace and stability remain in place so that the global economic system can work, so that our own national interests are well protected in this region, and that those interests of our allies and our partners are well looked after. So let me just start by saying that there's a wide range of challenges that will impact our ability to maintain that security. They range from everything from a very unstable and uncertain North Korea. I'm here in Osan, Korea right now, and working with our Korean allies and U.S. Forces Korea to ensure that we've got that piece of the security architecture right in case that North Korea creates another provocation or starts to threaten the interest of the region or our own nation. The next security challenge would be these historic territorial disputes that are going on throughout the South China Sea and the East China Sea, and how these are going to ultimately be resolved, and whether or not there is a peaceful mechanism based on rule of law and normal international standards that allow us to get to a peaceful resolution of those without a miscalculation that could cause conflict in the region. And then, you know, 80% of all natural disasters in the world happen in the Asia Pacific. It's just the nature of the security environment that we deal with. You know, we just finished up the beginning support of the recovery operations for a typhoon that really left a lot of people in the Philippines in a tough situation. And they're recovering well, but as we look at the security challenges, you know, planning for large natural disasters that have an potential impact on hundreds of millions of people is a particularly difficult security challenge that we all have to address. Well, the short-term plans for the rebalance are already well in action. We're, number one, strengthening our 5 alliances. And so you're starting to see that in both Korea here and in Japan and in the Philippines and Australia and in Thailand, where we have these historic alliances. You're starting to see just kind of up in the ante of the things we do, ensuring that our security posture is correct, ensuring that we have the right sets of exercises, ensuring that we have dedicated the right types of resources to the types of security challenges for each of those nations. We're also starting to see some new platforms come into the region. We're seeing the MV-22, which has been successfully integrated into the region, is really doing magnificent work from everything from HADR all the way up to larger contingency planning. The P-8 is replacing the P-3 in the Navy, and the first ones of those have shown up and are starting to perform very well. And of course, we're pursuing some options with our Australian allies down in northern Australia, where we're putting in, started with about 250 Marines. This year will be about 1,100 Marines, where we're participating with our Australian allies and working together for our mutual security concerns. So lots of things have already happening in the rebalance, and it's working. Now, in the long run, it's got to be in the best interest of the American people to continue the rebalance and to recognize that the security challenges here in this region and the amount of U.S. interests that are here require us to stay forward, require us to stay engaged, and require us to be properly supported to conduct that engagement and be properly positioned for crisis and follow-on contingencies. So we're all headed in the right direction on rebalance. Well, we've talked about some of those challenges over time, but they really do encompass a wide range of things. One is just the fact that 80% of all the natural disasters in the world occur in this region. And so being prepared for that with our allies, our partners, having the right equipment, the right training in place that allow us to, as a military, to quickly respond in a manner that provides the types of things that military bring to disasters. Now, militaries aren't designed to solve disasters. What militaries can do, though, in the early stages of a disaster is to bring command and control and to bring immediate relief for suffering, such as fresh water and urgent medical care. We can provide equipment and machinery to clear runways that allow other national assets and other non-government organizations to be able to come in to start that recovery process. So we have to practice that, and we do among our allies and our partners in many bilateral and many multilateral forums in the region. The other challenges obviously are what we're facing here in Korea, and that's the continual threat from North Korea that has a very unstable regime and the potential for nuclear weapons on the peninsula that threaten not only South Korea but threaten the region and potentially threaten our own homeland. And then just throughout over about half the world, which is what PACOM encompasses, they're just a growing complexity to the security environment. Everything from territorial disputes to issues with freedom of navigation in the air, freedom of navigation on the seas. So we're dealing with these. But a central component of being able to deal with this is a strong U.S. military presence and a resolve by the young men and women who lead in this region and provide the support from the United States to this region. So we appreciate what you do. Well, let me say this. The U.S. Military is not going to establish any more U.S. bases outside the United States. That's just where we are. But what we are doing is that we're looking for opportunities with our allies and with our partners where our national interests together come together to find places for us to operate together that they support and that we support, but there won't be U.S. bases. There'll be places where we operate with our allies and partners, but no plans for any more bases. What I would like to say, I'm here in Osan. I've been here for a couple of days working on some of the key alliance issues with the U.S. and the Republic of Korea. We are beginning a series of exercises that are critical to that alliance and critical to ensuring peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula and throughout the region. And I just want to thank all of the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines and their families who participate in this part of the world. I know you're away from home. I know that you sacrifice, but be assured that we're going to give you the type of support that you need and that we know that you're ready to do what's necessary when required. So thank you very much. Very proud of you.